Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers for the next 2 weeks, June 16th to June 27th, reveal that the judge's blackmail secret could pose a threat while Giovanni Gio Palmieri has an unforgettable encounter. Willow Tate will also choose what's next, so let's talk about what's in store. During the week of June 16th to 20th, Anna Devane will force Harrison Chase and Dante Falconeri to talk through their problems in a jail cell at the PCPD. Meanwhile, Carly Spencer will show Jack Brennan just how much she values him and what he brings to her life. In Professor Henry Hank Dalton's office, Jocelyn Jacks will strategize with Vaughn and plan to get her hands on Dalton's phone for snooping purposes. However, Emma Scorpio Drake will cause some issues through her rivalry with Jocelyn and the Dalton seduction plot she's cooking up. When Gio runs into Emma later, their encounter will leave a lasting impression. Could Gio share a kiss with Emma, or will he bump into her while she's throwing herself at Dalton instead? Next, Curtis Ashford will have an offer for Michael Corinthos to consider, so we'll see if this involves Aurora business or another move against Drew Kane. Portia Robinson's efforts to fix her marriage to Curtis will also flop since he'll push her away and lean on Jordan Ashford instead. As for Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson, they'll get updates on some huge news. Will this tie in with Trina's parental drama? Or could it be related to the documentary they've been taking part in? Over with Sonny Corinthos, he'll demand some Jen Sidwell answers. Could Sidwell do something to derail Sonny's escape plan for Natalia Ramirez? Or will this connect to lingering questions about Sonny's mysterious enemy? Other GH spoilers say Sasha Gilmore Corbin will end up distressed about something. So let's hope baby Daisy Gilmore Corinthos is okay. Sasha and Michael will eventually get candid about their tricky family situation. But this honest conversation could also open the door to Michael playing a bigger role in Daisy's life. Although Drew will push Jason Morgan to take a proposition back to Michael, Jason will wind up clashing with Drew instead. Even so, Willow is going to face a pivotal choice in the coming episodes, so will she put Drew in the rearview mirror in exchange for access to the kids? The week of June 23rd to 27th could bring some surprising developments when it comes to what happened behind closed doors in the custody case. Cameron Matheson's social media leak pointed to somebody blackmailing Judge Eva Heron to score Michael's victory. If that's what went down, you can bet the truth will come out sooner or later. Perhaps Michael will somehow find out Tracy Quartermaine or someone else intervene to ensure this custody win. That could leave Michael desperate to keep the shocker under wraps. Of course, things could get complicated on Willow's end, too. Even if Willow promises to stay away from Drew, something tells us they've got a magnetic pull by now that'll be hard to cut off. As for Curtis, he's on a mission to find Jacinda and pay her to say Drew A. hired her for a passionate night and B. took that ketamine of his own volition. If Jacinda finally re-enters the picture, will she do what Curtis wants for a price? Drew has more chaos ahead no matter what. And the same goes for Nina Reeves since she has multiple secrets that could spill. Between Nina's role in the drugging setup and her past fling with Drew, she'll have good reasons to be on edge. General Hospital spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some tight spots and heated arguments, so stay tuned. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. She had a breakdown in the courtroom after the judge revealed Michael Corinthos was granted sole guardianship of their 2 children. Willow had to be taken to the hospital and sedated, so is this an indication of another shocking event to come? Willow Corinthos may be unstable. Will Willow remain in the hospital, or will doctors feel as if she's well enough to be released? Willow's meltdown in the courtroom wasn't only because of learning she lost her kids, but mere shock surrounding the situation. Fans could sense she felt she had the upper hand, especially after Sasha Corbin admitted that Michael was the father of her baby, a baby that ended up being delivered in that very courtroom, shortly after the big confession that Rick Lansing prompted from Sasha while she was on the stand. Willow helped deliver the baby out of pure niceness. There was no ill intent to that. However, when it came to her conversations with Drew Kane and Nina Reeves after the fact, Willow seemed smug that she had the children's custody in the bag. Could Willow spiral? Willow's breakdown and subsequent hospitalization could hint at more mental health issues to come. She didn't have an easy childhood, and this latest bad news could trigger more trauma to resurface. All it could take is seeing Sasha watching over Wiley and Amelia, And Willow may snag little Daisy Corinthos when Sasha is not looking. In Willow's distorted mind, this would be an eye for an eye. She may see Sasha as stealing Michael and her kids, so she'll take Daisy. Could Willow end up kidnapping Sasha's baby Daisy? Join the conversation below. Watch your favorite soap on ABC Daily, and check out this site regularly for the hottest General Hospital news and spoilers. General Hospital spoilers and updates reveal that Lucky Spencer, as played by Jonathan Jackson, recently left Port Charles again. As fans are speculating whether Lucky would be recast, here's what Jonathan said about it. Want more General Hospital news? Get updates on the latest General Hospital news straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. Jonathan's version of Lucky as well as others appeared on and off through the years. Jonathan Jackson became famous for his role as Lucky Spencer, the son of Luke and Laura Spencer. He was first cast in 1993 and left the show in 1999, but made a comeback in 2009. Recently, it was announced that Jackson would exit the soap again in June 2025, with his last day being June 11th. Since this announcement, fans have speculated whether another actor will take over the role. Over the years, a few other actors have portrayed Lucky, including Jacob Young and Greg Vaughn. Jackson returned to the show in 2009, although Guy Wilson briefly played the character in early 2025 when Jackson was not available, having previously portrayed a teenage version of Lucky's father. Jonathan recently talked about his exit. Jackson recently shared his thoughts on his impending departure with TV Insider. He remarked, "When I initially left the show and returned in late 2009, it was a tougher experience. It felt strange to be 28 years old and revisit a character I last portrayed at around 17. The transformation from 17 to 28 is significant. Therefore, stepping back into that role and collaborating with Tony Geary in that scenario was thrilling, yet it was also quite unsettling." Jackson acknowledged that his earlier return simplified the process. Jonathan continued talking about his return. He mentioned, "In the past it took me about a week to get back into it, which might not seem like a long time, but in the soap industry that's a significant amount of dialogue and time. This time I didn't experience any of that. It felt very natural and quite comfortable to find the character's voice." The actor expressed his desire to reprise the role in the future. He said, "I hope that happens. The bittersweet truth for me is all the good things that were happening on the show. Collaborating with Frank Valentini and the writers was a very positive experience, and I was truly pleased with the character's direction and the storyline's progression. If the door stays open for him to return, he really doesn't seem them recasting. If they say the door is still open, that's fantastic. From my viewpoint, the door is always open as well, so we'll need to figure out the logistics and see if we can adjust and change certain realities. I hope that can happen." Regarding a recast, Jackson expressed some doubt. He said, "I don't really think that will happen. I could be mistaken, but personally I would feel, well, that's unfortunate. As an actor, there are many aspects of life that are simply beyond your control. It's up to the show, that's their choice. However, I would certainly prefer it if the door remains open for me to potentially return and contribute more there. I have immense respect for their work and the challenges they face. I truly value all of that. I recognize that if I can be an asset to the show, that's wonderful. But if they decide to go in a different direction, I completely understand and respect that." Do you believe Jonathan Jackson will make a comeback to General Hospital? What are your thoughts on Lucky being recast? General Hospital spoilers indicate that Kai Taylor overheard something that he shouldn't have. Kai overheard Curtis Ashford tell his wife, Dr. Portia Robinson, that he needs to find Jacinda because he wants to pay her to tell everything that she did not drug Drew Kane and that he took the ketamine on his own accord. He told Trina Robinson what he had heard, as Trina has been worried about her parents and their marriage. Kai told Trina that Curtis said that he can't figure out the future of his marriage to Portia until she is safe from Drew. Trina is confused, but she advises Kai to forget what he heard and stay out of it. Kai Taylor has loyalty to Drew Kane. Kai owes Drew a great deal, as he financed his recent surgery so Kai could fully recover from his sustained injuries and once again play football. The surgery was risky as it was experimental, but Kai seems to be doing just fine. Kai doesn't see Drew for who he really is and has a lot of gratitude towards him. Kai would feel that he owes Drew the truth and may decide to tell him what Curtis is planning. Kai Taylor tells Drew Kane about Curtis Ashford's scheme. Drew could run into Kai at GH and ask him how his progress is going. Kai would tell him that he is doing well, and that there are no complications. Drew would be pleased, and notice that Kai might be holding something back. Drew would ask him what is going on, and Kai would brush him off and try to excuse himself. He would tell Kai that he can confide in him. Kai would be reluctant, but he would admit that he overheard Curtis tell Portia about his plans to find Jacinda and pay her to say that she didn't drug Drew and that Drew actually took the ketamine himself. Drew would be livid, but thank Kai for his help, and he would tell him that he would take it from her. Drew Kane figures out that Nina Reeves and Portia Robinson both were behind the ketamine plot. Now that he has this information, Drew would put the pieces together that Portia and Nina Reeves were working together to take him down, and that Curtis is doing this to protect Portia's role in all this. He would realize that he needs to act fast before Curtis can find Jacinda. He would press Nina to find out where Jacinda is, so he can get to her before Curtis is able to track her down. Curtis hired Felicia Scorpio to track her down, and she could also be closing in on Jacinda's location. Drew could fly to the Australian outback, where Nina believes that Jacinda went, and try to get to her before Felicia does. Who will find Jacinda first? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that Kai will tell Drew about Curtis's plan to find Jacinda? Will Drew figure out that Nina and Portia were working together? Will Drew find Jacinda before Curtis's PI Felicia does? General Hospital spoilers and updates reveal Nicholas Cassadine and Courtney Matthews are together again. Well, not quite, and not on GH, but their portrayers Huss and Willis are making a movie together, and it will have a kind of a soapy twist. The movie is called In Her Sleep. Although Nicholas is currently absent from Port Charles, his previous actor is busy with an exciting new venture, one that has a dramatic flair. Want more General Hospital news? Get updates on the latest General Hospital news straight to your inbox. Website your email. Subscribe. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. Adam Huss is set to star in the upcoming film, In Her Sleep, alongside the beloved former General Hospital star Alicia Lee Willis. To top it off, the film is penned and helmed by the talented Brittany Underwood. Huss shared some behind-the-scenes photos and expressed, "What a wonderful day on set with these amazing people, including the incredibly talented Alicia Lee Willis, who plays my charming love interest." Directed by the fantastic Brittany Underwood and Dylan Myers, with some great assistance. Courtney was Spencer Cassadine's mom, and Luke Spencer's half-sister. Fans were thrilled to see the former soap stars reunited, and one fan, Christine Alexander, sparked our headline by exclaiming, "Wait! Nicholas and Courtney back together again. Spencer's parents, let's bring them all back to G." Willis, who now goes by Faust after her marriage to race car driver Tanner Faust in 2024, took to her official Instagram to discuss the film. "I feel so lucky to be collaborating with one of my favorite people," she expressed joyfully. Not only did she write this film, but she is also directing it. Underwood was eager to share the exciting news and made the announcement last week, explaining why this project holds such significance for her. Tensions are running high in Port Charles as secrets begin to unravel, and hidden agendas come to light. In the center of it all is Drew Kane, who finds himself caught in the middle of a rapidly evolving situation involving Curtis Ashford, a mysterious woman named Jacinda, and a surprising warning from someone he least expected, Kai. Curtis, ever determined and resourceful, has set his sights on tracking down Jacinda, a woman whose connection to past events might hold answers he's desperate to uncover. While Curtis has kept most of the details close to the vest, it's clear that whatever he's chasing could be dangerous. Whether it's justice, redemption, or unfinished business, he's not letting go of the lead, even if it puts him at odds with some of his closest allies. Drew, who has been focusing on rebuilding his life and redefining his purpose, is blindsided when Kai approaches him with a firm and unsettling warning. Kai, typically someone who operates in the background, makes it known that Curtis's pursuit of Jacinda could spiral out of control, and that Drew needs to step in before it's too late. What's shocking is the urgency in Kai's tone. He isn't simply offering friendly advice, he's speaking as if the danger is imminent and real. According to him, Jacinda isn't just someone from Curtis's past. She's tied to secrets powerful enough to topple lives, destroy relationships, and possibly bring down more than one Port Charles figure. Drew presses for answers, but Kai remains vague about the specifics. Still, he emphasizes one point. Curtis may think he's in control, But he's chasing something far more complex and volatile than he realizes. And if Curtis gets too close, he might not only endanger himself, he could pull others into a storm they're not prepared to weather. This leaves Drew deeply unsettled. His loyalty to Curtis runs deep, but he's also not blind to how personal obsessions can cloud judgment. Drew has been in similar situations before, where one man's mission becomes a collective risk. So he begins watching Curtis more closely, sensing the weight of Kai's warning pressing in on him. Meanwhile, Curtis is growing more secretive by the day. He's been taking private phone calls, conducting hush-hush meetings, and traveling under the radar. Even Jordan and Portia can't seem to pin him down emotionally or physically. Clearly, he's on the verge of something, but no one is quite sure what that is. It soon becomes clear that Jacinda may be more than just a person of interest. Rumors begin to swirl, whispers of her being involved in covert operations, or even being part of a long-buried scandal connected to the WSB or the Cassadines. The further Curtis digs, the more dangerous things appear. Drew faces a difficult decision. Should he confront Curtis directly or play the long game and investigate discreetly on his own? After all, pressing Curtis could cause him to shut down completely, or worse, push him to move faster and more recklessly. Kai, sensing Drew's hesitation, warns him again. This time he shares a chilling detail. Jacinda may not want to be found, and if she's forced out of hiding, the consequences could be catastrophic. Not just for Curtis, but for Jacinda herself and anyone connected to her. Why is Jacinda so crucial? That remains to be seen. Some believe she possesses information that could expose major players in Port Charles. Others think she may have been framed and is running for her life. There's even speculation that Jacinda might be tied to long-vanished characters or old vendettas. Curtis, however, is driven by something personal. There's a look in his eyes, a determination bordering on obsession. Whether he once loved Jacinda, betrayed her, or failed to protect her, he clearly feels a responsibility. But that very passion is what Kai is worried about. Emotional decisions often lead to deadly consequences, and Drew knows this all too well. In the days to come, the situation grows more volatile. Drew enlists Brick to help him discreetly monitor Curtis's movements. What they uncover shocks them both. Curtis has been dealing with someone off the books, a fixer with a reputation for making people disappear. Has Curtis crossed a line in his search for Jacinda? Or is he being manipulated himself? As Drew digs deeper, he begins to see the broader implications. If Jacinda surfaces, old crimes may come to light. Prominent figures could fall, and the already fragile relationships in Port Charles could shatter. He realizes that Kai's warning wasn't just about protecting Curtis. It was about protecting the entire town. The drama is far from over. With Curtis closing in on Jacinda, Drew must act quickly. Will he stop his friend before he goes too far? Or will he be too late to prevent a disaster? One thing is certain. Jacinda holds secrets that people would kill to keep buried. And with Curtis charging forward and Drew pulled into the fray, the truth may come out, but at a dangerous cost. As Jocelyn dives deeper into the truth about Britt's possible survival and Dalton's dark experiments, the stakes rise dramatically. What began as a hunch based on a few obscure files has become a mission filled with moral questions, danger, and emotional consequences. Not only for Joss but for everyone connected to Britt. After revealing the information to Liesl Obrecht, the maternal fire in Britt's mother is reignited. Once skeptical and guarded, Liesl is now determined to uncover whether her daughter is still alive, or if her DNA has been violated and used against her will. Knowing Victor Cassadine's cruel scientific tendencies, Liesl begins to fear the worst, that her daughter may have been cloned without consent, or worse, manipulated into becoming someone else entirely. With Brick helping to hack secure international systems and follow the medical and financial trail, Joss and Liesl make a shocking discovery. A hidden facility in the Austrian Alps, heavily secured and privately funded by the remnants of Victor's estate. All signs point to this being the location where Dalton conducted his most ambitious work. It also happens to be where the subject label BW01 was last documented as active. The idea that this may not be the Brit they knew, that perhaps she's a genetically modified version of herself, or even unaware of her true identity, is almost too painful for Liesl to consider. But Jocelyn keeps pushing forward, unwilling to let the truth stay buried. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos gets wind of Jocelyn's involvement in something dangerous. Despite their rocky dynamic in recent months, Sonny still sees Jocelyn as someone under his protection. He quietly assigns Dex to shadow her, not to interfere, but to step in if she gets too close to trouble. What Dex uncovers alarms even him. Not just rumors of cloning, but whispers that Dalton has begun replicating more than just Brit. Could there be multiple clones in the works? And what does that mean for Port Charles? Elsewhere, Sam and Spinelli uncover a different lead. One that confirms that a woman matching Brit's physical description was treated at a private recovery center under an alias. She reportedly suffered from amnesia and displayed knowledge of medical procedures that only a trained doctor would know. The kicker? She disappeared shortly after Dalton made a large wire transfer to the clinic. This revelation sends a wave of urgency through Liesl, who now believes Brit may be alive, not just in body, but with some trace of her former self intact. The question becomes, can she be found and brought home before Dalton erases who she is entirely? Jason Morgan, still lurking in the shadows since faking his death, quietly reemerges. He reaches out to Carly and Jocelyn with a proposal. Let him infiltrate Dalton's facility. He knows how to disappear, how to move in and out of places without being seen, and more than anything, he feels responsible. Brit was his friend, someone who died in his arms. If she's alive in any form, Jason wants to help her. He also suspects that his enemies, or perhaps even Victor's allies, were behind Brit's death, to draw him out or exploit his feelings. This mission suddenly becomes a race against time. Meanwhile, Dalton grows aware that people are closing in. He activates protocols to eliminate evidence and begins moving Project BW01 to another facility. The clone, unaware of the danger or the truth about her origins, is compliant for now. But Dalton begins noticing glitches. The woman they call Brit starts having dreams, flashbacks, and instinctive reactions that seem too personal. Is the real Brit's consciousness somehow asserting itself? Or did the clone inherit emotional imprints from the original? Dalton fears that the experiment may spiral beyond his control. And if that happens, the clone could become a liability or worse, a witness. Back in Port Charles, the emotional toll mounts. Maxie Jones struggles with the possibility that her best friend might still be out there. Nina worries this will open a dangerous new chapter for everyone. And Carly, haunted by what happened to Brit, becomes fiercely protective of Jocelyn, warning her that some doors once opened can never be closed. Still, Joss refuses to back down. She knows the truth matters. And if Brit is truly alive in any way, she deserves to be found. Not hidden, not silenced, not turned into a science experiment. As Jason prepares to leave for Europe, Joss hands him a file she compiled, full of everything she's uncovered. Bring her back, she says, her voice breaking. Even if she's different, we'll find her way back together. Jason nods, emotion flickering in his eyes. I'll do everything I can. The next chapter is poised to unravel a tangled web of science, identity, and redemption. Brit may have died, but in Port Charles nothing is ever truly over. And her story may just be beginning again, with a twist no one saw coming. Back in Port Charles, as word quietly spreads among a few trusted allies that Brit might be alive, or at least genetically replicated, reactions vary wildly. Liesl Obrecht's resolve has hardened. She's no longer just searching for answers, she's preparing for battle. The idea that someone could have taken her daughter's DNA and manipulated it for experimentation fills her with fury and guilt. She blames herself for not questioning Victor's motives sooner, for allowing herself to grieve without proof. Meanwhile, Jocelyn Jax, despite Carly's warnings, refuses to back off. The young woman is driven by instinct, guilt, and a desire to make things right. She remembers the night Brit died. She remembers the chaos, the heartbreak. But now a shadow of doubt has been cast on that night, and Joss needs closure whatever the outcome. The possibility that a piece of Brit still exists somewhere out there gnaws at her. Jason Morgan, operating covertly with the help of Brick and Spinelli, arrives at the secret facility in the Alps under the guise of a security consultant. His plan is simple. Gather intel, confirm Brit's existence, and extract her if possible. But nothing is simple in this world, especially when Victor Cassidy's fingerprints are all over the operation. Jason quickly discovers that Project BW01 is not the only clone. There are files referencing other projects, -7 Malawian Kwaches, J2, and a cryptic Alpha-1 file with Sunny Corinthos' name partially redacted. It's clear that Dalton had broader plans than anyone imagined. Victor's obsession with legacy, bloodlines, and control didn't die with him. It was passed on to Dalton, his protégé, who believes he's the future of science and power. As Jason infiltrates deeper into the facility, he finally sees her. A woman who looks exactly like Britt Westbourne. She's wearing medical scrubs, her hair slightly different, but the resemblance is uncanny. She's not restrained or sedated. She's functioning, speaking fluent German to a staff member. Jason can't help but freeze. It's Britt. Or at least someone who could be her twin. But when he calls out her name, Britt, she turns puzzled. No flicker of recognition. No emotional response. "Who are you?" she asks. Jason's heart sinks. This isn't just a physical copy. It's someone without Britt's memories, without her identity. But there's something in her tone, something in her posture, that reminds him of the woman he once cared deeply for. It's a small spark, but it's enough. Back in Port Charles, Dex brings new information to Sunny. The cloning files Jason uncovered include partially encrypted data that mentions Sunny's old enemies, Cyrus Renault, Peter August, and remnants of the DVX. Sunny is unnerved. Could someone be trying to build a new army using old DNA? As Sunny starts to piece together the larger picture, he realizes this isn't just about Britt. It's about control. Whoever is behind this wants leverage over the Corinthos organization, over Port Charles, over the people who have survived the Cassadines' wrath. Meanwhile, Jocelyn contacts Anna Devane with the evidence she's compiled. Though skeptical at first, Anna agrees to help investigate. If there's a rogue biotech operation cloning individuals, it's a threat not just to Port Charles but to global security. She reaches out to WSB contacts to dig into the Vienna-based lab's connections to former DVX operatives. That's when a chilling discovery is made. Dr. Arthur Kovich, a once-disgraced DVX surgeon presumed dead, is listed as one of the project's consultants. Jason, now in protective custody with the clone, tries to talk to Britt. He plays her old music, shows her photos, tells her stories, but nothing breaks through. However, when he gives her a necklace Britt once wore, a small charm given to her by Liesel, she holds it for a moment too long. Her fingers tremble. A tear escapes her eye, even though she can't explain why. It's the first crack in the shell. Brick hacks the facility's files and learns that Dalton's final phase is about to launch. He plans to auction off clone templates to the highest bidders, cartels, warlords, corrupt governments. The operation was never just about Britt, it was a prototype for human replication at scale. If they don't act fast, the technology will go global. With time running out, Jason contacts Anna and Liesel. They coordinate a rescue mission. Liesel insists on coming, desperate to see her daughter again, whether it's truly her or not. Carly urges Jocelyn to stay in Port Charles, but she refuses. This started with her, and she's not backing out now. In a quiet moment before departure, Joss and Carly share a heartfelt exchange. "Whatever happens," Carly says, "you've shown courage. Just be careful not to lose yourself trying to save someone else." Joss nods, tears in her eyes. "I have to try. Britt saved others. She deserves the same." As the rescue team prepares to take down Dalton's operation once and for all, the fate of the woman known as BW01 hangs in the balance. Is she Britt reborn, or just a reflection? And what will happen if more clones surface in the future?